There's a lot of different ways to get high, and hopefully we'll see more in the future, but out of all the different ways to get high, I feel like the two most common ones, or at least the ones that I get asked about the most, are smoking and dabbing. And a lot of people want to know, what gets you higher, what's better, what's more cost effective, things like that. So today I want to answer one of the age-old questions: what gets you higher, smoking or dabbing? So let's define them a little bit, because there's a lot of different ways, or there's a lot of different variables here. Smoking can mean a lot of different things. It can mean that you rolled up something into a joint, you got a little paper going, you got a nice little dry pipe going, maybe a chillum, or maybe you got like a huge bong and you're doing massive hits out of it. That's all in the category of smoking. You're taking flower and you're combusting it. You're lighting it on fire and you're inhaling the smoke. That's smoking, right? Dabbing also has a few different things that we need to consider. There's vape pens, which is probably like the most common form of dabbing, unfortunately. Loose concentrates, people have all kinds of rigs, little portable devices, e-rigs, quartz bangers, e-nails. There's a lot of different ways to dab, so I think we need to consider that. And then also there's a whole world of people that mix both. They do combusted concentrates or vaping flower. Dabbing is vaping, essentially. I'm probably going to leave off flower vaping conversation in this video, and we'll talk about it in another one. And I think I'm even going to redo my best ways to get high tier list, because some of the things need an adjustment. But I've been smoking for years, I've been dabbing for years, and I've gone through phases where I kind of favor one and shy away from the other, and then vice versa. Like, I'll lean more towards smoking sometimes, or I'll lean more towards dabbing sometimes. So I will say, by the nature, concentrates, you have the ability to get more cannabinoids and terpenes inside of you in one hit or in one go. That is what gets you high, the cannabinoids, the terpenes. So if you're trying to get like a high dose, or you're trying to consume like a high amount, dabbing is probably the easier way to do it. They've extracted the cannabinoids and the terpenes from the plant. They left behind the stuff that doesn't get you high, and you're just vaporizing the portion of the plant that does get you high. So if you compare like a gram of concentrate with a gram of flower, the concentrate is going to be like 4 or 5 times as potent as the flower if you're just looking at the cannabinoid and terpene contents. So like if you're trying to get a ton of it, you can just go do like a big old 1 gram dab, fat dab. So with dabs, you could do a lot of the cannabinoids and terpenes in one hit. It's hard to realistically say that you're going to be able to smoke as many cannabinoids and terpenes as you could dab. Some people just have better lungs for smoking, or they lean more towards smoking more often, so it's easier for them. Some people, if you never dab and you go to take that one dab, it just hits your throat and your lungs a little bit differently than the smoke that you're used to, and vice versa. I think at the end of the day, if you do both regularly, you'll know that smoking is a bit harsher. Dabbing can be a lot smoother and tastier, essentially. But it all depends on how you do it. If you're just doing really hot dabs, or you're doing blinkers on your vape pen, or you're taking all your concentrate and you're making moon rocks and you're doing infused joints and stuff, you might not be getting smoother hits from the concentrate, but it is totally possible. And if you are consuming them both in the ideal manner, you should be able to take bigger, smoother hits from concentrate. But something that I need to say as somebody who's done a lot of smoking and dabbing together and separately is that it really is different for a lot of people. Some people just don't get as high from dabbing. I don't know if it's the fact that they can't take as many dabs, or they just like smoking more. I looked at a few articles before this just to see what like the internet had to say, and a lot of the comparisons were on like smoking joints versus dabbing, and smoking joints is like the least effective way to get high. I would rather compare a dab hit to like a big bong rip, because I think they're closer related. You're going for like a big burst of a hit instead of like a slow burn into your session. And I did really quick want to show this one website. Just a quick glance at this because it was pretty funny. Dabs, you have a higher risk of becoming addicted due to the higher concentrations, which I'm not sure. I think people really get hooked into the ritual of smoking joints and rolling them sooner than they would get hooked on dabbing. Bro, explosions. I like how they talk about explosions, which was actually a problem years ago in Colorado, right after dabbing became popular and people learned how to do butane extraction in their home. A ton of people just blew up their house trying to make dabs. A much stronger high than smoking marijuana. I thought that site was funny because they really put the explosions on there, like you're going to be blasting your own concentrates. You're going to be doing your own open blast butane extracts in your house. Like, come on. No matter which one you like or which one you prefer, it is good to mix it up every now and then. This is one surefire way to get high. If you're like, nah, I don't like concentrates, I don't like dabbing, I just like smoking my joints, blah, blah, blah. Every now and then, if you do like one dab, that's going to get you like next level high. If you just never do concentrates and then you do one hit like out of nowhere, it's really gonna hit you. This is super common, happens to a lot of people. And the same, right? Vice versa. Concentrates do get you higher, I think, or they have the potential to get you higher. It's easier to get more cannabinoids in your system with dabs. But if you dab every day, if you regularly dab, you could probably get to the point where one bong, like one nice big combusted bong rip, is going to get you higher than several dabs or your last, 2 weeks of dabbing all combined. I've been there where I'm just like, yeah, I don't really smoke, bro. It doesn't get me as high. I gotta have concentrates. It's gotta be the dabs, bro. It's gotta be the higher percentages and more cannabis. I used to be like that. And then you do one bong rip and you're like sitting on the couch, not able to speak, just stupid for like 2 or 3 hours. And you're like, you know what? I think there's something to smoking that weed. Anyway, come get high with me on Twitch. I do a smoke sesh every night, 9 p.m. Eastern. Link your Amazon Prime. Give me that Jeff Bezos money. And if you never saw that video where I tried the munchies from the UK, check it out. They got some pretty good stuff over there, bruv.